Welcome to the official 2022 AMC season preview. My name is Simon Core, and today we're going to present to you all the teams, drivers, and tracks present in the 2022 American Monoposto Championship. The American Monoposto Championship 2022 is an Automobilista 1 league inspired by late 90s Champ Car. The 10-race calendar is going to span both North and South America and is going to utilize brilliant tracks such as Daytona, Long Beach, Interlagos, Montreal, or San Francisco. If you're curious about the cars yourselves, you can download the mod in the description below. But before you drift too far ahead, let's have a look at the 2022 AMC calendar. Race 1, an action-packed street circuit challenge at the classic Long Beach used in the 1990s. Race 2, an experiment in Brazil, in Rio to be exact, a circuit formerly owned by Emerson Fittipaldi, an oval to be precise. Race 3 takes the championship to a Grand Prix racing classic, the world-famous Interlagos circuit. Race 4 marks the return to North America for the American Monoposto Championship. This time, however, we go to Canada, Montreal to be precise. Race 5, and the second oval race of the season, it's Michigan, with quite the dubious history in American open wheel racing. Round 6, back to the road courses we go, and what a famous one we've picked. It is Road America. Round 7 offers up the famous corkscrew as we go to Laguna Seca. Round 8 might be the toughest challenge for our competitors since we're going to the big oval in Daytona Beach, Florida. A track where usually open wheel cars are not supposed to compete, but in Automobilista 1, anything is possible. Round 9 takes us to the fictional street circuit of San Francisco. Certainly a new and different challenge for everybody involved. Race 10 takes us to the season finale in Fontana. But who are the drivers and teams for the 2022 American Monoposto Championship? Let's have a quick look. It is quite a bizarre return for Streamline Engineering, a team formerly known for its participation in the Formula Sim Racing Championship. The team is currently headed by semi-famous YouTube personality James Early. His managing duties will be assisted by yours truly, Simon Core from Germany. Joining the crew will be Scottish rookie Lucas Hamilton and the American Matthew Oboisky, whom we talked to ahead of the season's start.
My day job, I'm an auto body tech. I work on cars. I picked up sim racing probably a year and a half ago. I've been doing racing games, my whole life. Everybody played like Need for Speed and all that good shit. But I picked up sim racing about a year and a half ago because my brother got a sim racing wheel. And naturally, I was jealous. So I went and bought a sim racing wheel. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the world's fastest driver. My only goal usually when I go into a race is to make it to the end. Clean, like it was my real car. So my expectations of the season this year, my goal is to make it through, get as many points as I can without putting it in a wall, and have fun doing it.
Oboisky's role will be especially interesting considering he's one of 3 Americans participating in this American Championship. It is difficult to predict what Streamline can offer in the 2022 season, seeing as their team manager is more concerned with other topics and projects at the moment. However, it will be interesting to see whether this ragtag team of different drivers' personalities and nationalities can bring themselves to a point where they might actually be competitive. A team that has named itself after a slang term for bread in Polish, the competitive Schlepak team is headed by 3 Polish drivers, most well-known Dominik Kronsky, the head of the CIR. Kronsky will be joined by his longtime teammate Kamil Zomborski and rookie Bartosz Korpeta. Korpeta especially impressed with some decent performances during testing, however his tendencies on track seem to be rather erratic. Some might be fooled into thinking that because they named themselves after bread that this team might be considered a comedy act and therefore would not be competitive. However, testing has shown that both Kronsky and Korpeta show a lot of potential. However, they're still not in the position where it seems as if they're able to utilize it. It's also difficult to judge how much we're going to see of Zomborski during the season, seeing as he seems to have a tight schedule on his hands. Josh Kazar is bringing his Super Gazelle moniker into the American Monoposto Championship with Super Gazelle Racing. This striking livery is going to be piloted by Kazar himself, Jacob Clark, and Gwendolyn Cole. Cole and Clark happen to be the other 2 Americans on the American Monoposto Championship grid this season.
Super Gazelle Racing was born from me attempting to do YouTube and content create, everyone's favorite term. I wanted a a sim racing team, not an esports team, but a sim racing team to be represented in every sim that I played, with kind of the vision of just me being the driver until other people were on board. But the whole YouTube thing has pretty much ended. But my whole thing of taking Super Gazelle racing across different sims that I play is still very much alive.
I'm fairly new to open wheel racing, all things considered, especially in sim racing. My only real experience in sim racing with open wheel would have been the Codemasters F1 games, Automobilista. I've not gotten to play a whole bunch of it, but I'm excited to, because I've kind of fallen in love with how quick and grippy open wheel cars are compared to stock cars.
Whether or not Kazar, Cole, and Clark can adapt to oval racing, as well as the difficulties of road course racing with these incredibly powerful cars, is yet to be seen. Kostek has had a rich and varied history in sim racing, especially in German circles. However, this is going to be their first big international break with a 4-car lineup. Gonzalez Cativo is returning to sim racing after a multiple-year absence and winning the 2013 Formula World Championship on R Factor 1. He's being joined by one of the title favorites, Max Heyman, as well as Robin Ide and Philipp Fekela. This German contingent might be one to look out for in this year's championship, considering that they have a lot of experience on their hand.
Ja, ist natürlich schwer zu sagen, weil die Konkurrenz habe ich jetzt noch nicht wirklich kennengelernt. Die einzigen, wo ich jetzt wirklich richtig gut kenne, sind Knesevic und Peters, die natürlich sehr stark sind und schwierig zu schlagen sein werden. Aber die Tests, glaube ich, waren bis jetzt ganz gut. Meine Pace passt und deswegen wird das Ziel sein, vorne mitzufahren, nach 9 Jahren endlich meinen ersten Rennsieg zu holen, und alles weitere, was es hier gibt, wird sich zeigen. Ja, zu Robin Ide kann ich jetzt relativ wenig sagen, weil ich den nicht wirklich kenne und nicht so gut. Philipp Fekela ist ein sehr talentierter Fahrer, von dem man durchaus was erwarten kann. Zu Cativo braucht man nicht viel sagen. VFC Weltmeister, und mit dem wird auf jeden Fall auch vorne zu rechnen sein, wenn er mit dem Auto zurechtkommt. Ja, Ovalrennen mag ich richtig gern zum Fahren, macht mir wirklich Spaß. Deswegen rechne ich mir eigentlich bei denen die Rennen, wo wir auf den Oval, glaube ich, fahren, eigentlich am meisten aus.
However, at this point of the season, it is incredibly difficult to judge how quick Ide, Fekela, and Cativo are on track. One thing is for certain, if you want to win this year's championship, it seems as if you have to beat Max Heyman more than once. Another favorite for this year's Constructors and Drivers Championships are MPM, a team headed by Hungarian Benz Waldinger.
Well, it all started back in 2020, I think. This is when I signed a team up for another championship called the P4OB, the Challenge Series. Fast forward 2 years and now we are here, entering into another few series where custom teams are accepted. To be honest, I don't have too much expectations for the team. As always, when I enter into a new season, I just hope for scoring a few good points and starting in a decent place. And of course avoid being last, because that is not why I made a team to finish last in the Constructors.
Waldinger's crew consists of the very promising Finnish driver Juho Sopanen, the self-proclaimed guest driver pleb Nico Postkemper, and the bookies' favorite for the 2022 American Monoposto Championship, Kevin Peters.
Das ist eine gute Frage. Ich denke, das werden wir nach Long Beach erfahren. Momentan sieht alles gut aus, läuft nach Plan, was Quali und Rennstint angeht. Und ja, dann schauen wir, ob die Konkurrenz stark genug ist, morgen gegenzuhalten. Ja, der Kontakt war bisher relativ unauffällig. Wir werden morgen die ersten Testfahrten zusammen machen am Renntag. Aber ich hoffe, dass sich das in der Zukunft noch ändert, dass wir dann mehr Testfahrten zusammen haben werden.
Peters is not only renowned for his incredible speed and testing, but also for winning the 2020 Virtual Formula Championship. At this point in time, however, it is difficult to judge whether or not his teammates can keep up with him. A team which has been silent so far has been SCMM, headed by the Italian Gino Gaggiano and the German Dominik Ostermeier. While they have been silent so far, they have shown pace in other racing series and therefore are promising talents for this year's championship. The only one-car operation in this year's championship is going to run an oval-only schedule. Adrian Friedrich is going to be the only driver for DRW, and we've talked to him ahead of the season start as well.
I randomly picked some letters and gave them a meaning to put it like that. So it stands for Deutsche Rennwagen. I've done some league racing in the past, so mostly on the F1 games, or I did a league season in the league in NR 2003. Quite experienced with oval racing. I think I'm experienced with the type of track. I think I have an advantage, a little advantage over other people when holding my line and how to race on an oval. But I think this advantage vanishes because I'm driving a new type of car to me.
Adrian Friedrich is the only driver for the German team and hopes to make an impact on the ovals this season, especially considering his American motorsports background.
I have relatives in the United States, and so which was my first introduction to motorsports, and then we visited a race in Charlotte in 2014 or 15, I think it was 14.
One of the more bizarre entries this season might be the Audito Racing team, themed with Bavarian imagery. Don't let the slightly ridiculous look of the team fool you. On the whole, they might have the strongest driver package in the field with Alexander Knežević, Jan Winter, and Daniel Bentenrieder. While Winter and Bentenrieder have been quite absent during the testing phase, Knežević was incredibly quick and consistent and can therefore be considered one of this year's title favorites.
Online, it's since 2009. That's when I really started doing it. And offline, I got my first steering wheel in 2002 for 100 Deutschmark. And so it's 20 years now. So I'm really a veteran, you can say. The routine, the composure that you get over time, I've seen everything, so there are not a lot of things that can make me nervous. You can't, make speed out of that. Just pure from experience, but you can do, a lot of stuff like setup or something, or mind games, or, just little things that can give you an advantage. And, some guys need still to learn that, but I think that it surely is helping me.
But to win the Constructors, Knežević has to make sure that he is able to motivate his teammates ahead of the season's start.
I mean, they are both good guys, but as you said, they didn't practice much, and I think that they underestimate the skill you really need. Even though it is Automobilista, many think that it's a simple game, but you need to be on top of your game. The tracks aren't easy, street courses are never easy. I think that they can be fast, but I think that they will have their problems in the beginning because they will crash a lot, and the races are long, let's say. I mean, 1 hour, you need to drive 1 hour without a major error. I wouldn't be surprised if they get a few DNFs on the way.
Do you want to join the grid of the American Monoposto Championship 2022? Just click on the link in the description below and join our Discord server. Sign up, give us a name, a number, a nationality, and you're almost ready to go. The first race highlights will be uploaded April 16th, 2022. Be sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss races of what we hope to be one of the most entertaining sim racing series on YouTube today.